What is going on, Flex Zone family? It's your boy God's favorite host, the host with the moist, BKD, back here on the Flex Zone podcast, only place giving you your sports how you want it, when you need it. And I'm back again with another video here on the Flex Zone YouTube channel. You know the drill, family. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell for all notifications, and let me know your thoughts, your excitement level as we head into training camp, just days away. Wanted to come on here, guys, give you some more content, give you some more Ravens videos as we head towards training camp and start to break down the position of the offense as well as the defense. And I'm starting today with the offensive line. In my opinion, the most important position group on offense, the offensive line. Because if the offensive line isn't playing well, isn't fluid, isn't protecting our quarterback, ain't nothing going to be able to happen. You're not going to be able to run the ball effectively, and you're not going to be able to sit back there and throw the ball effectively as well. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the Flex Zone 1, now on TikTok as well, the Flex Zone Podcast. Thank you again for tuning in. But let's take a look at the offensive line, guys. We know the biggest story is Ronnie Stanley. We don't know what his status is. Right now, he's listed as out. I'm using ESPN, obviously, as my depth chart reference, but he's listed as out. I don't know if he's going to be ready for the start of the regular season. If I had to bet today, I would say no. But we got Ronnie Stanley at left tackle, Tyree Phillips at left guard, which I think is probably his best position on the offensive line, even though he is versatile and can play tackle if needed. Ben Powers, I thought he would be way more further along at this point in his career, but it's just looking like he doesn't have that bend and he can't get low enough to really get leverage and get powerful blocks. And I think that I would like to see Ben Powers start at left guard, but I don't know if he is going to be the starter. Maybe later in the season he eventually starts because I think he did play a little bit better as the season went on last year, but that'll be something to watch out for, I think, on the offensive line. Tyler Linderbaum, the first round pick, we know he's going to be at center for the Ravens probably for the next decade, playing solid football, anchor in the offensive line, smart guy, one of the best centers in recent memory coming out. And the Ravens have great success with Iowa linemen. Look at Marshall Yonder. So that's all you need to know about Linderbaum, and I'm pretty sure he will live up to the expectations of being that first round center. Kevin Zeidler was a stalwart last year, possibly our best offensive lineman. Did everything he could. I mean, it was nothing to say about him. He played every game. He was consummate pro. He didn't get many penalties. He was a solid piece at right guard and was pretty much the most stable piece on the offensive line. Right tackle, now Charlie Villanueva is gone, thank God. We got Morgan Moses there. I think he comes in, starts day one. I think he's going to be solid for us as well. Obviously, behind him, you have Daniel Falele, and you have guys like David Sharp, Tristan Colon, Jimmy Murray, Ben Powers, as I mentioned. Patrick McCarry is probably the guy, if Ronnie Stanley isn't ready for week one, that would probably play left tackle. McCarry can play guard tackle. We know that, even some center. But when you look at Stanley possibly missing week one, I think he'll miss week one. You got McCarry possibly at left tackle, Tyree Phillips at left guard, Tyler Linderbaum at center, Kevin Zeidler and Morgan Moses at right tackle. Now, the wild card here is what happens with Jawan James. Do you go ahead and put Jawan James at left tackle possibly? And you roll with Jawan James as your left tackle if Ronnie Stanley is hurt. And then you roll with Tyree Phillips, Linderbaum, Zeidler, and Moses. Now, I think from center to the right side of the line, we are solidified. Linderbaum, Zeidler, Moses. If we have those three for 17 weeks or however many weeks they're healthy, I think Lamar Jackson will be good. So I think running to the right side, Lamar being able to get outside of the pocket to the right side. He is a right-handed quarterback. Looking to the right side of the field where Rashad Bateman will be lined up. Mark Andrews will probably be lined up a lot. I think he'll be good on the right side. Now, the biggest questions are left guard and left tackle, as I mentioned. If Ronnie Stanley is healthy, he's one of the best 3 or 4 left tackles in the league. We can agree on that. But he hasn't been healthy in 2 years. We can't bank on him being healthy. And I don't think he'll be healthy within the next, 2 months, less than 2 months of the regular season starting. So I think he'll probably maybe start on the pup list and miss probably the first to 6 to 8 weeks possibly of the season before he comes back in the second half of the season. Tyree Phillips at left guard, him and Ben Powers. I'm going to take Tyree Phillips, but I wouldn't mind seeing a guy like Ben Cleveland play left guard, possibly winning a spot in training camp, showing his improvement from year one to year two. I think Cleveland, I said Powers earlier, I think Ben Cleveland played better as the year went on. I think he's really good in the run game, struggles in the pass game, but we knew that coming out. He is a mauler, but I think he's got to work on his football IQ, learning the NFL level of offensive line. And I think the offseason and coaching and going into training camp, I think healthy and with a year of experience under your belt and a full offseason program will make him better. And I want to see if Jawan James is healthy because I would like to see what we have in Jawan James. I think Jawan James, if need be, could play one of the tackle positions. Could it be a situation where Morgan Moses plays left tackle for us or plays right tackle and Jawan James plays the other tackle? Because Makari, yes, he's versatile. Yes, he is good for what he does for this team. But he's basically a little bit better version of James Hurst, if you remember him, Ravens fans. Remember, James Hurst was the versatile offensive lineman, the guy who could play everywhere on the line from inside to outside. And he was big guy size, but he was nothing spectacular. And if he went up against an athletic guy who could bend and get low, he would have issues with that. Now I said Makari is a little bit better, so I'm going to give him more credit for that. But all things considered, Ronnie Stanley's the biggest piece of this offensive line that we need to focus on. As I said, I think he'll start on the PUP list, miss first 6 to 8 weeks of the season probably. So could we see, I think we'll see a lot of guys get an opportunity at left tackle and probably left guard. Jawan James will probably play some left tackle. Makari will play some left tackle. We could see Morgan Moses flip to left tackle. We could see Tyree Phillips flip the tackle. We could see Jawan James inside. We can see Ben Cleveland at left tackle. Left guard. And him and Jawan James or Tyree Phillips and Ben Cleveland. We could see a lot of potential options. I think David Falele, Davis Sharp, those are projects. Those are guys who we won't see this year and shouldn't play this year unless it's an absolute emergency where we're just riddled with injuries again on the offensive line. But I think they could be guys who are projects and maybe in the future could contribute to this team. Maybe you bring in a Falele or a Sharp for a big heavy set, an extra offensive lineman, that sixth offensive lineman, which the Ravens like to do on short yardage and goal line situations when you know you got to run the football, get 1 to 2 yards on a fourth down, on a goal line situation, on a third down conversion. Let me know in the comments. What do you guys think of the offensive line? Do you think this is the most important position on the offensive side? I think it is. Receivers a close second, but if the offensive line isn't playing well and isn't protecting Lamar Jackson, isn't allowing us to run the football effectively, isn't giving Lamar a clean pocket to sit upright and step into his throws, this offense is going to struggle and struggle mightily. And the Boo Birds will come out and people will be calling once again for Greg Roman's job. Like I said, I think Ronnie Stanley may miss the first 6 to 8 weeks of the season just based on the way he's recovering, and it seems like they don't know his status. He's listed as out right now. Probably won't see him, like I said, until the second half of the season. So that will be the biggest question. And left guard also, Tyree Phillips. I think he can be a good left guard, but I would like to see competition. I think competition in training camps, that's going to be a very interesting competition to watch with guys like Tyree Phillips, Ben Powers, Ben Cleveland, and possibly could you slide Makari in the left guard. Those could be 4 guys competing for left guard. And if anything, you're probably going to go with Makari and maybe Jawan James battling out for left tackle, possibly even. So it could be a lot of interesting battles on the offensive line for training camp as it's getting ready to begin. Let me know your thoughts. Who would you like to see the 5 starting be? Will Ronnie Stanley play week 1? What do you think about Tyree Phillips? Do you like Linderbaum as much as I do? I think he's going to be great for the next decade. Zeidler is going to be good for the next year. And Morgan Moses is going to be solid as well. But the question is also after this year, what is Kevin Zeidler's future? What is Morgan Moses' future with the Ravens? With cap situation, with having to pay Lamar Jackson, what's going to happen with those two? We know Linderbaum's going to be here. Ronnie Stanley got paid, so he's going to be here. But outside of Linderbaum and Stanley and Jawan James, this might be his last year as well, especially if he doesn't play and he isn't healthy. What does that mean for the Ravens' offensive line next year? Could offensive line be an extreme priority next season, going into the offseason, going into the draft, especially when you got to pay your quarterback? You're going to need affordable, cheap labor offensive linemen because you can't pay offensive linemen $100 million guarantee when you're about to pay your quarterback $200+ million guarantee, especially if he plays well this year. Let me know. What do you think about Ronnie Stanley? What do you think about the left guard position? Are you looking forward to seeing Tyler Linderbaum? What is the position you're watching on the offensive line? Is Morgan Moses and Kevin Zeidler going to solidify the right side of the line? Is Linderbaum going to be the center we want him to be with the first round pick we take him? But I think the key is going to be the left side of the line. Left tackle, what happens with Ronnie Stanley, and left guard. If someone can emerge out of Phillips, Powers, Cleveland, maybe Jawan James, maybe Makari has to slide inside, or like I said, Makari may be the left tackle for the first 2 weeks of the season. If he doesn't work out, do we then see Jawan James possibly? Do we see Morgan Moses flip the left tackle and Jawan James at right tackle or Makari at right tackle? I don't know. As I mentioned, I wouldn't mind seeing what we have in Juwan James. And yes, McCurry is versatile, but I think he has reached his ceiling, and he's going to have some good games and he's going to have some not so good games. So I like to see what we got in Juwan James, and I like to see how Ben Cleveland has progressed from year one to year two. But pretty much that's my recap. That's my thoughts on the preview position of the offensive line, Flex Zone family. I appreciate you guys joining me. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like. Helps us out tremendously. Hit that like button. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that bell for all notifications to know when we're live. And of course, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Let me know your thoughts on a position preview offensive line. I'm going to work my way through these previews for these position battles. Let me know what position battle you're looking forward to seeing, and what do you think about the offensive line. I'm getting ready to get out of y'all. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the Flex Zone 1, the Flex Zone Podcast on TikTok. Subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications, and hit that like button, y'all. I'm out of here. Peace.